question is, how do I get back? Actually, I think it goes straight.
Gnarly trail. Alright. Man, this is gnarly.
Not too sure.
Alright, I know what the damage is.
Okay.
It's fixable.
Okay, what is it?
Basically, like I said, just bend it back.
What side is the drive shaft on?
In the middle, on the top. Here,
The exhaust is beneath it?
Yeah.
You sure? They're not side by side?
No.
Then bend the exhaust down.
Yeah, I will. All right. Basically, a rock landed on something and a rock went up. Imagine an exhaust going through here. Let me zoom out. Exhaust would come through here. I don't know if that's a good angle. Oh yeah, there's a hanger. See that hanger? And then it come through here. It will kind of bend down, but actually by here, you follow it. By here, it would end, and it'll connect to the muffler, and see that bend? The bend that goes down. That bend would go around under here, and then fit here. And there's 1, 2, and where's the third one? Right there. Three of them. So that's the story of this car's damage, I guess. By the way, we also screwed up the headers over there. Kind of. They're dented. But if you haven't watched the Motor Trend episode, they screwed up the exhaust manifold. It doesn't seem like it does much damage. As long as there's not an exhaust leak, I'm fine. But that, I don't know if that's a cat. Let me scoot closer. So, from the exhaust, I know the basics. There's a catalytic converter, and then a resonator. But there's like a bunch of, like, there's that bulge there. I don't know what that does. Then it's protected. And here's this thing that looks like a, what you call it, like a drinking canister, like the military uses. Water canister. And then there's a huge dent in there. It's supposed to flat, but there's a dent in there. Of course, over here, the basically something big here punched it up, including a whole exhaust. So this exhaust that comes through here, where does it go? Oh, it goes that way. So it goes through there. That unit got punched up, as you can see, and then the size of the resonator. I believe this is a resonator. It's hard to show you, but over there there's a tiny little chip. Maybe I'll show you. Oh, right there. See, kind of screwed in. It was making this loud screeching noise. So, and it created this problem. So in the middle of the road, we decided to take it off. And then luckily 2 Jeeps stopped. We're blocking the road, so they couldn't pass anyway. And they lent us some tools. We jacked up the car. We took off those 2 bolts over there. And then basically we're good to go. But hopefully, I don't think this exhaust system was bent. It was just jammed way up. It did deform this metal sheet here. The metal sheeting, it did deform it. But basically what happened is there's a hanger too that hangs on here. Right there. It hangs below. And it's supposed to look like this. Perpendicular down. But it bent up and jammed up like somewhere there or there. So no matter what we can do, at the time our goal was just to take it down and continue away without the screeching noise here. So, but now we took it off, and now I'm gonna put it back on. So that's the update. I'll let you know if anything worked or not. By the way, it ripped this thing out, and this is supposed to be flat like this, but now it's hard to maneuver the camera while you're laying upside down. I don't know if you guys can see, it's punched up like that. So this thing, that screw hole here is bent kind of upwards into the car. So I'm gonna get a hammer and hammer from the inside out, see if that does any good. Oh, by the way, it also got dented this way, so I'm gonna get a hammer and yeah, and I'm gonna hammer it back, see if that helps. And I don't know if the exhaust leak is coming through there, because this exhaust seems to be fine. It's not bent. How could it be bent? Because if you think about it, it jammed here. Something pushed it up way hard, jammed it up, and restripped myself, and it jammed that hook, the bottom hanger, right up there. But now it doesn't seem to be binding. It's hanging down a little bit though, but otherwise in its original position. I'm doing a check again because I just pushed it up. It seems a little close. So yeah, if you take a look from this angle, this should be flat. So if we turn it a little, imagine if this was turned a little, pushed upwards a little. I wonder if this would bind. So actually, it still doesn't but the sheet metal is a little deformed, and it's pushing this deformed sheet metal into the drive shaft. So we're still gonna have to take a look at that, somehow form the sheet metal around it better. But otherwise, that's the progress so far. That transmission pan, I don't know if that's a normal or not, because it's really dented in. It's dented in. I don't know if that's normal or not. I don't know if that'll affect my transmission performance. It's all that black stuff that like dried. It's not wet, so that's good. So I don't have much to say other than to hope that I still won't have an exhaust leak, but I have a feeling it might. I do not know if this is the catalytic converter. Nope, the light's not good, but there's a drive shaft in there. You can see that. Interesting. Oh. Nope, this camera cannot see it. Alright, I turned on the light. There's some pretty cool stuff. Never really worked on cars, so this is all fascinating me. It's the shifter, and it shifts all the way over there somewhere. Interesting. That's where the drive shaft is. And hide in that shield above. Before coming out over here. I don't know if this video is boring you guys. It's fascinating me though. Alright, so apparently I didn't catch this on footage, but took the pipe out, and because earlier this, when I attached this section was good. It had good clearance, and if I get over here, so we got to this part, this wouldn't connect properly anymore. This would split open. Basically, an exaggerated view would be this splits this way and this splits that way, and that's not good, because then of course there'll be an exhaust leak here. So what I did is I disconnected that end over there, and then tightened this side, took the whole system out, and I jumped on it kind of lightly. I just kind of leaped on it and stepped on it this way, downwards, but I couldn't see any noticeable progress, so I got a little greedy and I was curious how far would this thing bend. So at one point I jumped on it pretty hard, and then I heard a crack sound, and that was the result. So now it's cracked a little bit, so it's going to have exhaust leak. So I can't tell if it's this part or it's that part if it exhaust leaks. Well, actually, if you think about it, if this was sealed and it still had exhaust leak, it's got to come from there, because from this down on end is completely sealed, so it can't have an exhaust leak. So if that's sealed and it still has an exhaust leak, then that's from that dented catalytic converter. But yeah, found out I bent it too much, I think, because this bottom hangs below here. So in an attempt to bend it back, I'm gonna jack it up and put some pressure, and basically mimic what happened earlier where I rock jammed this thing up into the drive shaft, except I'm gonna control how much jam I want. And I've tried to unbend that. I beat in with a hammer inside the car. So I tried hammering it in, but I tried touching around the floor mat. This was basically in the place where the front seat is mounted. The rear mount of the front seat mounts basically around there. And if I feel around, I can't feel much. So basically I can't hammer it out if I can't feel much. Oh, you know why you can't feel it? Can you see that empty space in that hole? This basically, the actual part that's part of the floor plan, and that metal brace has a little space there. So when this gets dented in, it really doesn't affect the floor plan. That's why. I just figured it out. Still am not able to get that out. I can't feel much. Basically the floor pan is unaffected by that. So I'm gonna bolt that in, and I'm gonna use this jack here to push this part up a little bit, bend it in its correct place, and we should be good. Modify that a little bit so I won't touch the drive shaft anymore. It shouldn't. Personally, I don't know what it looks like up there, but now I see, I'm looking through the camera screen. Now I kind of know what it looks like. So yeah, we're pretty much done. That's all we can do until we get JB Weld. I'm gonna JB Weld that crack there, and we'll see if we get an exhaust leak after we JB Weld. Let's give it a start. Whoa, no way. That's pretty much mint. That crack does not even make a difference. Sound like we just off-road this car earlier. This gnarly car, the gnarly trailer. Too bad I didn't film most of it. I was driving, and my passenger, he wasn't able to operate the camera. I did take some photos, so whatever, but I mean, if you guys can probably look up other people's videos online, if there are, of Santiago Peak. That trail is super harsh, basically it's not hard actually if you think about it. It's just ground clearance. You just need ground clearance. There's some places where it basically articulates the axle, like you know, like a solid axle, and the wheel, like a Jeep, and it has to undulate. It's basically undulating terrain at some points. Those are the hardest. But otherwise, yeah, too bad I didn't get to catch me working on the car where we pulled out on the side and jacked up the car, and the Jeep people came to help us pull the tools, lend us some tools to fix the car. And by the way, usually when I take off the muffler, you hear that noise, right? That's like a knock, but it's not like an engine knock. It's like something's rattling, basically. That's a noise. It's like a knock, but rattle, not from the engine. But anyway, usually I take off the muffler from here if I want the ricer sound. But today we had to take this section off because, as you know, that thing was touching the drive shaft. So we had to take that whole thing out. So basically a straight pipe from there. Too bad I didn't get film of that either, because basically we were tired and just relieved that we got out of the situation. But yeah, overall, I'm happy, I'm relieved that nothing bad happened. give the car a little rev. Make sure there's no exhaust leak. Huh. There's a little bit of rattling noise. There was a rattling noise before, but it wasn't rattling, it was like a clunky noise. But I guess that noise is gone, now it's returned by a rattling noise. So I still don't know where that noise is coming from, but that's before we went to Santiago Peak. So that has nothing to do with this problem. But on the other hand, I do hear like a small exhaust, like a, I don't know, farting noise? Not really. It's like someone going pss, 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 but really fast. Basically, I don't know how to point that noise out. Basically, there is still a minor exhaust leak, but it's nothing major. Basically, JB weld, and we're good. And on the other hand, that catalytic converter there apparently did not do anything to this problem. That did not affect anything. So I think we should be good. I'm gonna do a test drive, and basically, this car survived. No problems. So I'm going out for a test drive, and it seems like there are no problems. Even shifts normal. When we were coming back, the transmission was shifting between gears. It basically couldn't choose between what gear to shift in. So, but I'm not sure if that was because of the off-roading we did, or is that because of the transmission was hot and being used. It was getting tired. But now I haven't driven the car for like a few hours, and it seems to shift normally. Basically, it's a normal car now, as if it never off-roaded today. So that means experiment success. There's a slight hissing noise you probably can't hear on camera. That's probably just that crack. Otherwise, no deep burble, no exhaust leak, just a small hissing noise. If you never met this car and drove this, you probably wouldn't think much of it. Way I've been pointed out. Also, we got scratches from scraping the tree branches, but I think they should buff out. Based on what I watched on Chris Fix's video, if you pour water on these, then if they disappear, then it's fixable. It's buffable, basically. It's fixable. And I sprayed water in it, and sure enough, the scratch marks disappeared. They don't show as good on this side. But yeah, so I'm probably going to, in my next video, wash the car to full detail, do the Chris Fix Ultimate Car Wash, where I completely use dish soap and get rid of all the grease and stuff, and I actually wax it. I don't know if I'm going to do the paint, but the paint's pretty complicated. But if I can, I will. And then I'll do a full engine bay. Basically, this car should look like a brand new car, unlike what it looks like right now. So stay tuned for the next video.